Happy Stinktober, everyone. It's me, your friend Chris, with a bonus Tuesday live stream. I got my earbud in and I turned off my monitor, so I'm not going to go crazy this time. Well, I'll probably go crazy. That's just part of the deal. But today is the launch of Stinktober, and here it is. I got some exciting news. My website has now been updated with a contest section where you can upload your entries right there, because there will be a contest that is going along with Stinktober just like last year. I'm going to pick probably my 3 favorite posts from the month, and they're going to get some prizes. I think I have listed out two people will get a $50 gift card to my shop, and then one winner will get a $100 gift card to my shop plus a mystery bonus pack of goodies that I will send out. And maybe we'll add some other stuff in throughout the month. Maybe I'll reach out to my friends at Retro Supply Co. and see if I can give away one of my illustration mega packs for Fresco or Procreate. That could be fun. I know this is not my usual live stream day, but it's nice to see that there are still a good amount of people in the chat. In today's stream, I'm going to be drawing the first prompt from Stinktober, my prompt list that goes along with Inktober. It is Spooky Bob Scaredy Pants. It's like a little SpongeBob pun. Should be a good time. I like to draw SpongeBob, and I think it's gonna be so much fun. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Just want to check in quickly with the chat. I want to say happy birthday to Vidar, channel member. I'm not just saying it because he's a channel member, but I just glanced up at the chat and saw his name was green and had a little badge, because that's what happens when you're a channel member in the chat. Why? I'm always flustered at the beginning of these live streams. Looks like we got Diana Lisa Robinson and the Good Chad, channel moderators, in the house. I know we are missing a few of the regular ones because, again, it's a Tuesday. It's not an ideal time for them. But so happy to have so many people here. Roxanne Arts, thank you so much. You said you just found my channel and you're enjoying it. Tabitha, I'm stoked that you made it as well. 8-bit on stickers, yeehaw. Yeehaw indeed. It looks like people have started their SpongeBob's already. Your friendly neighborhood nerd. I was on Instagram this morning and saw there was already a bunch of really great ones that I was checking out. If you do post them on Instagram, use the hashtag MyStinkyTober24, because Stinktober is it's not an original thing. There's already been other Stinktobers apparently. So should have thought of that. But anyway, MyStinkyTober24. If you go on my page, you'll see there's a pinned post for Stinktober, and I have it mentioned in there if you forget. So check that out. It's gonna be a fun month. And again, if you want to enter the contest, there is a link in the description below. You can enter every single day of the month, or you can just do one. Or 2. You could do 5. You could do 6. You could do as many as you want. It doesn't matter. You just have to do at least one to be in the contest, because obviously you gotta submit something. So yeah. I usually have my friend Matt helping with posting comments into a document for me so that I can see them if there's like questions that I'm missing. But I'm solo today, so if I miss your questions, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's because I'm looking at my screen while I'm drawing. So, I guess, hi, I'm Chris. I've already lost control of myself. This is a live stream, and I turn off monetization so ads don't pop up in the middle of it. So, because of that, I'm just gonna do two quick promo things real quick. My vector texture shapes pack. Have you heard of it? It's in Fresco. It is the only way that you can get real, natural, organic vector textures into Fresco, unless you make your own. But these are all vector. Isn't that crazy? Nuts. Also, my new shirt is up for pre-order. I just found out that they will be delivered to me on I think around the 11th, and then they will start shipping immediately. So pretty soon. These aren't print on demand. These are screen printed in the US at Mammoth Print Shop in Alabama on my favorite blank shirts, which are comfort colors. These are not those stupid, sloppy, thin, weird, slim fit shirts with the dumb, skinny collar that gets all weird. These are nice, relaxed fit, heavyweight cotton, sustainably made shirts. They're the best. Comfort colors. So yeah, these are limited. So because they're not print on demand, when they run out, they run out. So if you want to pre-order one, link below and use the promo code live to get 20% off. I was recently informed that I do all these like promo codes willy-nilly, and I'm not paying attention to how much it's taking off the back end. But you know what? I don't care. I can't think about these numbers. What? I think Tuesday, I'm apparently more crazy than Fridays, so apologize for that. Okay. I'm Brit Meister, you just said, hello, fellow Piascikos. I forgot about that amazing name, and I want to do something with that. I feel like I should make some stickers or something, or I don't know, even like a little emoji or something like that. Let me know if you think there should be some stickers. Okay. Yeah, so if you do have a question and I miss it, you can at Dionysus Robinson or the good Chad, and they can at me, and I have a better chance of seeing that because their names are bold and blue because they're moderators. So I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna switch over to my iPad screen. I've been rambling for too much time, and we'll get going. I got a blank document here. Let me see. I think I have my overhead set up too. Oh, I got the music going on that one. Okay. All right. So as I mentioned, we're drawing a Spooky Bob Scaredy Pants. Let me move my mic over here. Get it out of my way. All right. What are we doing? Hi. Is that, can I move this down a little bit? Let me switch over to this. This is not ideal. What did I do? I messed up my vibe from last time. Okay. So, Spooky Bob Scaredy Pants. I'm thinking I'm just gonna do like that. Well, first things first, it's SpongeBob. So I'm just gonna start with like a rectangle. That's a little bit hard to see. I'm gonna switch to my other one for now. And just sort of make it like up in like a little bit of a more dynamic shape. Let me turn my background tunes back on so I feel a little bit better about the silence. So I know he's like Scaredy Pants, but also it's Spooky Bob, so I just bumped the overhead camera with my hat. I'm gonna make him like sort of a monster type thing. Like maybe he's sort of like a skeleton, like he's got eye sockets instead of eyeballs, maybe. And maybe ghosts are coming out of him. So I'm thinking maybe like, you know, hands in like a spooky, like, ooh, a spooky thing. Like maybe that. You know what we should do? We should turn on symmetry, because I feel like what I'm envisioning is like a symmetrical like pose like this, like a, I don't know. I have this vision of some like retro Halloween graphic thing, and I feel like the symmetry is perfect for that. So if you've never used symmetry in Fresco, it's a little bit hidden. If you go over to the grid thing over here on the right and then go to the bottom, you can tap on symmetry, and there's lots of options. I'm just gonna use the basic one, but I want it centered in here. So if you just go to move down here, you can grab this little white dot and then put it in the center. And now when I draw, it'll be symmetrical on both sides. Okay, so I'm thinking these arms are coming up like this, and then the hands are in that spooky position. Then he's got his SpongeBob sleeves. Maybe they're like ripped because he's like a zombie or something. And then do some like legs. Oh, you know what? So he's got the square pants, obviously. And then maybe his little stick legs. I think he's got boots, right? His boots are made for spooking. Oh, his tie. He's got a tie. Maybe it's like ripped at the bottom. And we could do this belt. We'll worry about the SpongeBob, you know, spongeness afterwards. Okay, so I'm thinking I want his like eyes to be like a skull. So like eye sockets instead of eyeballs. But we'll keep his SpongeBob cheeks. I think those are helpful. And then maybe like a big spooky mouth. Cheeks coming out the side. He's like, ah, with his buck teeth. And then he's got an eye socket nose. This is pretty spooky. And then this will be just sort of like the lumpy zone. All right, let's refine this a little bit. So I'm going to bring down the opacity. Make sure it's still visible for you all. Alfonso, you said you're making a decaying zombie SpongeBob too. Illustrating, you did not miss much at all. I was rambling for a while, and I'm finally drawing now. All right, so I think the face and head feels a little bit crammed here, so I'm gonna start with that and then adjust the body accordingly. I think I'll stick with using the symmetry for now, because I think it's a little bit of a time saver actually for this. And then make his teeth a little bit bigger. We'll do those like lines like that. And then fix these cheeks so they like match the angle of the mouth. And then we can make these eyes a little bit bigger. Okay, so now I'm gonna make the rest bigger to account for that. So I'm just gonna double tap the modifier scale from the center. And shift that. Ooh. I forgot to turn off the modifier, and it was making it. Oh, there we go. That's better. Squish this in a little bit. Okay. And then the Kohiko, you asked if the contest doesn't need to be a drawing. No, you just have to make something. It could be collage or whatever you want. I don't care. It could be animation, or it could be, I don't know, even a photo. It could be whatever you want. I don't give a heck, as long as you make something fun. Get the lumpiness. I'll probably do that without the symmetry afterwards, but for the sketch phase, I think it's fine. Sometimes I'll use symmetry for the sketch and then not use it on the final drawing so that it's not so perfect, but we'll see. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do here. Okay, so let's get these square pants on. And then it's like he's got a belt. Yeah. And then the tie. All right, let's figure out this hand. I did not really do a good job. Yes, this is the Sketchboard Pro 2. Let me see if I can switch over to it. Love this thing. Alright, so this finger would like go like this, and maybe that one's like that, and then maybe the pinky's up a little bit. Hands are tricky. I guess that's okay. We'll make it better when we do the tightened up version. Pull this arm down. And then like the shirt, rip that up. Okay. All right, let's do these boots. I'm trying to remember. I think they go like that. I guess it doesn't matter because this is my version. Maybe we'll rip the pants like his shirt. Okay, let's turn off the symmetry and add some refinements or some details. So I'm thinking maybe like a little side tongue action. Like, SpongeBob. Oops, wrong layer. And then it's got those like freckle jammers, and then we got like blobbers. I feel like the expression isn't big enough yet. Like I feel like it needs a little bit more oomph, if you will. Let's merge this down and we'll try to refine once more. Well, bad hair day. Well, sort of. It's more of just bad head under the hat. Just didn't take a shower today, if that's what you're wondering. Vidard, you said you were planning to draw a SpongeBob TV where SpongeBob Samara from the ring crawled out of the TV. That sounds good. Yeah, this Sketchboard 2 makes it so much easier to, it's just so much more comfortable and ergonomic. Illustrating, you said you didn't realize there was a SpongeBob riff until I started. Oh, Spooky Bob Scaredy Pants? It's pretty SpongeBob-y. Okay, so I'm thinking I want the mouth to just have a little bit more like, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't have enough of this, and it's like, do you know what I'm getting at? Do you understand what I'm saying here? Okay. But maybe slightly. Just a wee bit smaller. Like that, and then we can pull these extra cheek lines over. And then those cheeky cheeks. And that. And then maybe the eyes can be a little bit like more bigger like that. Yeah, that looks more scaredy pantsy. Maybe we'll do that thing where you can see like the into the mouth, like into the throat, if you will. Can't see Zakir. Yeah, I guess it's a little washed out on this one. I'll switch back to my iPad screen for a bit. Bob Russell, thanks. Glad you're enjoying all of the drawing prompts. I keep bumping my hat on this thing up here. Maybe I need to lower myself. Whoop! That's better. Where's my... Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to move. I'm trying to adjust the chat so I see the live chat. I had it on top chat. Green Morden, thank you. Okay, I think we can use the rest of this for the final, like the tightened up drawing. So what I'm gonna do is just put these in a group together. Let's delete this other one. And that way I can, that way I can scale this up. Make it a bit bigger. Okay. Maybe I will use the symmetry for some of this to speed up the process. So I'm going to make a new layer and I'm going to turn symmetry back on. I'm going to adjust it so that it's in the center, in our center bob. And I'm going to turn off the move. And I'm going to switch over to the classic inker from my Retro Supply Co set because I want to keep this gritty, and that's a nice gritty brush. I'm going to turn the smoothing up so I can get some clean lines here. And then I'm just going to do the fun part. I forgot we're going to have ghosts coming out of the eyes. That was a crucial part of this whole thing. We'll figure that out after. But that does mean that I'm gonna have to scale it down a little bit to get the eyes at the top, but we're just gonna go with it for now. I'll scale it afterwards. I'm gonna move my mic a little bit. Thank you, Milton. Gibson David, you said, do you make your own brushes? I do. I have made some. I have this giant pack of brushes through Retro Supply Co. A lot of them are curated from their vast collection, but I did customize a bunch of them, tweak them a little bit. Some of them are originals. I also have like vector brush presets for Fresco because you can't import actual vector brushes into Fresco, but you can do presets from there by tweaking their settings. So I did make those sets, but I'm not working in vector right now. But I think I answered the question. Actually, I don't want the teeth to be symmetrical, so I'm going to wait on those. I don't want everything to be symmetrical, just some of it. Like, I think I'll end that there and then do the rest of the, like, the center lump. I don't know what to call it. Okay, so I think I want this to not be so round at the top. I want it to be more square. Yeah, almost a little bit more Frankenstein-y. Get the square pants in. I'm gonna make his shirt billow out a little bit, like that. And the tie. I don't want that to be perfect at the bottom of the, actually, I'm gonna do the whole bottom of the tie not in symmetry, so it looks more ripped, intentionally ripped. And I'm just gonna erase that line. Okay. I'm gonna draw the legs first to get the bow-leggedness. Like that. And then I'll do the pants over the top. Oh, the good Chad is casting from his TV because he's working, so if you have a question for me, don't at him because he's not seeing it. But I'm trying to keep an eye on it. If you, one pro tip that I just noticed, the emojis are really jumping off the black background in the chat window. So if you have an important question for me, put a bunch of emojis on there and I'm gonna see it. Or at least I'm gonna try. Vidar, thank you so much. You said you highly recommend my pack for Procreate on Retro Supply. I appreciate that so much. All right, I'm just gonna draw the outsides of the pants and then I'm gonna do the rips without symmetry. We're not going to do the tongue on symmetry because obviously we just want one tongue. And I'm realizing that the arms need to come out a little bit further, so I'm just going to take my sketch and shift it over like that. And it won't matter that it doesn't align on the other side because I'm going to use symmetry because so they're going to match. All right, let's see if I can make this hand a little bit better. Pinky sticking out a little bit more, and like that. I think that's okay. I think that's too low. Let's have it come in right above the mouth like that. That's too swole. SpongeBob isn't that swole. Okay. Now we can put the shirt sleeves over that. And then erase this other stuff. B. Lily asks if I have any kind of hand exercise for finger cramps. Not really. I don't get finger cramps. I have like bad tendonitis in like my forearm and like my shoulder. Stuff bothers me. And I'm supposed to be doing more stretches for that, but my fingers never cramp. I think maybe you might be one of those people that grips too hard. But I actually have this book that I got at like Icon Illustration Conference that is about like stretches, like stuff to do to help you not have pain while drawing when it's like your career and stuff like that. It's a good book. It's not like I'm gonna grab it. I feel like I needed to grab it to show that it's not like an intimidating, annoying exercise book, but it's called Draw Stronger, and it's like, it's a small book, but there's like lots of great stretchy stuff in it. Let me see. Look at this. They're all illustrated. So fun. It's by Creota Wilberg. Self-care for cartoonists and visual artists. Check it out. Okay. What I'm going to do now is turn off symmetry and move my sketch back over to the center. And I'm actually going to lower the opacity for a second so that I can draw the tongue on a separate layer to make it easier to erase. In that part, and then the teeth. Maybe this one should have a chip. Okay, so now I think we can turn off that sketch. Then I can come onto this layer below and erase this overlap stuff. Okay, so now I can bring the opacity back up and then merge these together and then finish the stuff that we didn't do yet. So I'm just gonna make some ripped sleeves here, keeping it pretty simple. I just didn't want them to be like exactly the same. Maybe there could be some, I don't know. Ripped pants. Can't get too much detail because of the brush size I'm using, but I do that intentionally because I don't want to. I feel like one of the mistakes that people run into when they're working digitally is just zooming in very far and like just making their brush size really small, and then when they zoom out to the whole composition, there's all these like weird spots where the brush size is really small and there's like hyper detail and it looks wild. I like to just set a brush size that's going to be like my minimum for the illustration, and then don't go smaller than that. And then if it doesn't matter how zoomed in I am, I can only draw so much detail. Okay, so we need those like blob marks he has. I'm gonna do those on a separate layer just in case. I think they're just, you know, random little blobs. I guess, you know, SpongeBob, they might be specific to areas that, like a real SpongeBob aficionado might be like, that's not where his blobs are, but this is my version. This is Spooky Bob Scaredy Pants, so I'm just going for it. Just trying to randomly spread them out. Color them in afterwards. Maybe that. And I think he's got like 3 freckles on each side. I'm gonna fill in the eye sockets and then that part of the mouth. Okay, so do want like a couple little dot things. And oh, he's got that belt, so I want to put that in there. Then I'm gonna do some like the belt loop lines by just using this as an eraser and then just coming in and taking out a couple little chunks. All right, so I mentioned I want to have ghosts coming out of his eyes. So let's just merge this all down and then scale it a little bit. Too small. Like that. Okay. Oh, Diana Lisa mentioned that that book that I was talking about, Draw Stronger, is in my Amazon shop, so there's a link below. That's stuff I use and recommend. And there's a book section, and then it's got books that I recommend, and that's in there. Alyssa, you said for submissions, do you accept pixel art, or do you prefer they're done more traditionally? No, I don't care how you do them. I love the diversity and different styles and techniques, and whatever you want. I'm here for it. Okay, so these ghosts coming out of the eyes. I'm thinking like not complicated ghosts, just sort of like simple, like maybe like that, but that one's a little too big. Maybe we can squish it and see. Maybe, and then let's see, another one over here. And then we'll just put some like eyes and like a mouth, but just like a very simple mouth, like a woo mouth. That's kind of fun. So let me see. Not exactly sure how I'm gonna color these yet. We can cross that path when we get to it. Because I think I want to do this with my Arizo brushes, so maybe I'll like overlay the color so you can still see him behind the ghost, so they look translucent. That's the plan, I think. Britmeister, you asked if we can get some drool droplets off the tongue. Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be crucial. I think that's the kind of thing we're definitely going to need. I'm also going to fill in these blobs because I'm going to be coloring them as solid shapes. Okay. I can't tell if I just want to like fill in the boots completely or leave them as outlines. Let me just... I haven't decided yet. I kind of like the simplicity of it not there, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do a layer for some... maybe like some blobs shooting out, like the tongue just like flew out of his mouth and it's just like spiraling up. Maybe we'll have one like this. They're obviously not going to be black. I'm just drawing them this way. We can fix those up in a bit. Okay, so I picked some colors ahead of time just because I knew I was going to do the Rizo brushes for this from my Retro Splico set, and I like to layer color with them. I like to use like a minimal palette, and because of that I wanted to like figure it out. So this is how I usually do it. I just like take the swatches and overlay them to see what colors I can make from them, and this was a good set of colors, I think, for this, because I'm thinking I could have like a purpley background mixing the red and the blue, and then it's good SpongeBob color, but then we can also get a red, and then some green for the spots. Yeah, so that's the plan. I'm trying to think of where to start. I'm going to turn off the ghosts and the spit bubbles for now, and I am going to just make some selections, I think. Yeah. So I'm going to start with the yellow. So what I'm going to do is on the SpongeBob layer, I'm going to select the interior, obviously, and I'm also going to select these blobs because those are going to be green, so they're going to be made up of the yellow as well. And then these are going to be red, so I'm going to select those as well because I'm going to make those out of the yellow and the red to make that more orangey one. And then the arms. Did I get that all? I just noticed my mic was muted, and I think I just did it. So who knows? So I usually like fill in the colors and not make selections because I find it to be easier, and then I use the things that I filled in as like what to make the rest from. And I thought maybe I won't do that this time, but I think this way is annoying. For the next color, I'm going to do it the other way so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so now that I have that selected, what I'm going to do is just make a new layer, and I'm going to select that yellow color, and I'm going to grab one of the Rizo brushes from my Retro Splico set, linked below if you're interested. So in Fresco, the Rizo brushes are set up by color, so it's defaulted to have 3 different colors. The reason for the 3 colors is they have different textures so that they overlay in a natural, organic way so that you can see some of the other colors showing through. In Procreate, that's not the case because there's more randomization in the brushes so that you don't need to have 3 different colors. That's like the one area of Procreate that I prefer in this regard. But I'm just gonna, yellow is my first color, so I'm just gonna start with color 1, and I'm gonna choose 100% because that's like the most full version of the yellow. And that's what I want. So I make it as big as possible, so 900, and then I just paint over the whole thing. You want to do it all at once because with the Rezo brushes, they're set to multiply over each other. So if I come back in and color more, it's going to darken that yellow, and that's not what I want. I just want it to be one wash of the yellow. So if you zoom in, you'll see there's like some texture to it. It's a little bit hard to see on this color with the screen share, but when I do a darker color, it will make more sense. Okay, so SpongeBob is got, let's do some of the, hey, we missed, see? This is why it's tricky, because I missed stuff. So I missed those 2 fingers, but that's fine, because I can select them, come back down to my yellow layer, and then just go boop, and they're yellowed. Okay. Milton, you said, I do have the question, haven't learned how to get the outcome of colors I want with the Rezo brushes. It's just spontaneous, or you be able to get the ones? Well, I mean, so as I mentioned, I did this little test to see, this is like 100% of each color in the colors I get, and then I know that I can get variations of this by using like less. For example, if I use 100% yellow and then I use like you know, a 50% blue instead of 100%, I'd get like a much more subtle yellow, more of like a lime green, because it'd be mostly yellow. So that stuff I just sort of improvise a little bit when I'm trying to get different ranges, but you know, you could always try and find it ahead of time. The pack also has like a sort of like a range thing with swatches where they overlay and show you the different values. Okay, so for the next one, I'm just gonna do the way this the way I normally do, where I fill colors with the paint bucket and then use those as selections. So I'll show you what I mean. So I'm gonna come down to my line work layer and go to go to set as reference. So it's a reference layer, and then I'll make a new layer. And on this layer, I'm just gonna grab the red and just start filling in the red stuff. So like the tongue, that stuff. I'm gonna do the pants because we're gonna try to make them brown. I guess the boots too. And the tie. Cool. So now what I can do is load that as a selection, and then turn it off, and then make a new layer, and then I'm gonna grab color 2 from the Rezo brushes, and I'm gonna do 90%, just because, and then I'll just fill this all in, and I'll set my layer to multiply, and you'll see we've got this nice orangey color from the yellow and red overlaying, and because the textures are different, we're seeing some of that yellow shine through. Which I should do for the pants as well. So again, we can just come to our line work layer, make a selection of the pants and the shoes. I'll do the inside of the mouth too. I feel like that should be more orangey. And then we can come back to our yellow layer and then just go to our color 1, and then I'm gonna choose 90 for that one, and then we'll just choose our yellow, and then we can fill that in. Now we got that orangey color. Okay, so the blue is what we're going to use to make the green stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and release this reference. I'm going to just select these blobs because those are what we want as green. Then I can turn that off, and then I can make a new layer, grab the blue, and then come down to color 3. And this is where I can sort of guess, because like I don't want them to be dark green, so maybe I'll try 70% and see what that looks like. Just gonna make sure my layer is on multiply. And I think maybe that might be a little dark, so we can try 50. Yeah, and I think that's what I want. I selected the nostril, which I didn't want to do. Oops. But that's okay, we can erase that. Shazbot, you said when you bought the Razorback, it came with a PDF that showed all the color mixes. Yeah, it does, like with default color mixes, but you know, you can make your own for sure. So we missed this little blobber here. So we need that to be yellow and blue. So on the yellow, well, we already got the blue selected. So I'll come to my blue layer and then fill that in, and then we can come down to our yellow layer and then grab the number 1 brush, put that in there. Okay, cool. So now we are getting somewhere. So I mentioned I want to make the pants and the boots sort of brown. So I'm going to try to do that with the blue. So on my line work layer, I'm going to select the pants and the boots. And then we can come down to this blue layer, grab blue, go to color 3, and then I'm going to try like 50% because I don't want it to be too blue. And then let's maybe try more. We'll do 70. And look at that. That looks like what I wanted. And then for the boots, I'm gonna do like a little bit darker. So I'll do like I'm gonna do the 80. Oh, the 90. Let's see what that does. That's a little bit darker. It's subtle, but I like that there's some change. And then I'm realizing now that I want the insides of the mouth to be darker, but I don't want it to be brown. So I think what I will do is select that section and then erase the yellow from it. And then on the blue layer, I'll do like this 80%. And then we got like a little bit of a purple action going in there. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so now we just have like we need the we gotta make these little freckles, little sponge freckles. So on the red layer, which is color 2, I'm just gonna come down here and grab 90% color 2, fill those in. Perfect. All right, so what I want to do now is load the line work and put it on each of the colors so that we get a cool layering effect and a dark color out of it. So I'm going to select all the line work stuff aside from like those details, which I want. We can turn that off. So what I do now is I go down to each color and fill it in with 100% of that color. So I'll choose yellow on the yellow layer, and I will choose color 1 because this is the first color. And I will just fill this in, get it all there. And then I'll come to my red layer, and I will just change this to color 2 100%. Grab red, And then I will do the same thing on the blue layer. Switch over to blue, grab 100% of color 3. There we go. And sometimes I will just go with that for the line work, but I feel like this one needs the extra, so I'm gonna do some black as another layer on top of that, just because I think it's gonna help make it look better, especially because of the ghosts. So I'm going to go to my selection thing and just load last selection, and then I'm gonna make a new layer on top of these, and I'm gonna grab, you know what, maybe I won't do, yeah, I'm gonna do black. I was gonna say maybe I won't do pure black, but we're gonna do black, why not? And to make sure the colors are not, or like, even though there's only 3 color options here, I want it to still overlay a little bit naturally for each of the colors. I'm just gonna choose like 70, I think, on color 3, because I don't think I used that yet. But there's the 3 colors layering, so it doesn't really matter that much. And then we can go like this, and then set that to multiply. Deselect, then we look at that. Yeah, see, we're seeing all the other colors through there. It's kind of fun. Then we can kind of play around with like offsetting that a little bit. I noticed we left out the dots on the tongue, so let's fix that now. So I'm just going to come to my line work layer and just select these little dots. These probably would have been easier after the fact. So I'm going to come down to the red layer and choose color 2. Just fill those in, and then maybe we'll just put some on the blue layer as well to darken them up a little bit so they're not like pure dark. And blue is color 3, so I'll just grab 60% here. Oh, that's a little too light. Okay, cool. So they're subtle, but that's what we wanted. I think that's good. Now that I'm looking at it, I think the green marks are a little too subtle. You can barely even see them on the screen, so I'm going to darken those up. So what I'll do is I'll go to my original drawing layer, select them, and then on the blue layer, what I'll do is just erase them, and then I will just grab a darker version. Let's see what this 80 does. There we go. Cool. That looks pretty good. But Will, you're asking about the sleeves. The sleeves, I think SpongeBob wears a white shirt, and I think it's gonna look better when we put a background in here. So that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna do the, actually no, let's do the background first, because then we're gonna have the ghosts overlay on top of that. So for the background, what I'm gonna do is go to my line work layer and then just select the background. And then I'm thinking I just want a purple background. So on the blue layer, I'm going to grab color 3. I'm just gonna go with 100% and see what that looks like. Fill that in, and then on the red layer, I will do the same thing, but red is color 2, so I'll do, well, I don't know, let's try 80%? Maybe we'll just go straight to 100. So what I don't love is that the inside of the mouth looks like a hole through. Don't want that. So I'm gonna try to add some black in there and see if that fixes the problem, and if not, we'll have to come up with a different solution. I think that helps the cause. Maybe we'll warm it up with some yellow again. I know I took the yellow out once, but I'm gonna put it back in. I think that separates it a little bit. Okay, so now let's do the ghosts. So what I'm gonna do here Nick, you said that I need a lighter purple to make Bob pop better. Just a suggestion. I feel like if it was lighter, he might. I feel like it needs more contrast. I wonder. I might try putting some black over the background in a bit. So that the yellow really jumps off the page. Okay, so I'm gonna load the ghosts as a selection. This is the part where I need to use all of my brain power to think about. So I want there to be some line work shown behind, but I don't want all of it. So I know that I want to get rid of the black. So I'm gonna erase that. And then I think I'll erase that. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is erase the blue, but then fill it all in. So we connect all those lines. So blue is color 3. I'm gonna just grab 80%, fill that in. Let's reload that. So what I want to do is give a little bit of separation on that blob, if you will. So I think, what do I want to do there? That's the real question. I'm going to just use a shader brush. So there's all these like shader brushes which you can use to like do some details. So what I'm gonna do on the blue layer in here is just, oh, not like that. I'm just gonna darken slightly that overlap area to just separate it a little bit. It's subtle, but I think it helps. Okay, so now I want the ghosts to have a little bit of a fill to them. I also want the eyes to be more, you know, ghosted, more solid. So I think what I'll do is just go into the black layer and just grab we're gonna like shift stuff too afterwards, and it's gonna make it even better. So now I'm going to select the inside, and we are going to erase. What else do I want to erase that too? So I'm thinking I'm gonna grab just a very light amount of the blue. Just put that in there. I think that's pretty cool. I just wanna lighten up that dark line a little bit. So I think it's the red that we need. So I'm going to load that selection. I'm sorry, I'm neglecting the chat right now. I need I need my brain to do this. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just... What? What is it? Where is it? Oh, it's the black. It is the black. Okay, so on the black layer, I am going to just erase that. Like that. Okay. That's too much. Okay, I know. I'm going to load the inside of the ghost layer, and then on the black layer, I'm going to grab the shader, and I'm going to use it as an eraser to lighten that up a little bit. And then I think, let's reload that. We'll do a little bit with the yellow too, just to make it look more like it's being obscured a tiny bit from the ghost. Yeah, that's what I wanted. That's fun. What did we do over here? What is that? What is that? Oh, dang it. What the hell? Okay, we can fix it. No big deal. No big deal. I don't think. Oh yes, no big deal. We can do this. Ready? What we're gonna do is on our line work layer, we're gonna select the background area, go to our red layer, and just erase, and then fill it back in. I promise I'm gonna look at the chat as soon as I do this one thing. Color 2, 100%. No! That's okay, we can fix it. We just need to erase it from these, and then we'll be good, I think. Except we lost our line work. Somehow. Load as selection, red. Actually, let's do this. Okay. There's this like little thing, but I kind of like that, and we're gonna do some distressing over the whole thing, and I think it'll be fine after that. I am realizing that these ghosts would need a little bit of the red behind their inside. So I'm just gonna use a shader brush on the red layer. All right, we're getting there. Okay. Hey Matt, what are you doing here? Aren't you in the YMCA without internet? The song ID, sorry, they're like songs from Epidemic Sound, because otherwise I'll get YouTube shut down because I have a subscription. So I don't really know. I'm sorry. Hey, we got 140 concurrent viewers. That's a lot. Hi everyone. That's more than the typical Friday. Yeah, okay, so Getsuna said you should have lighten the lines you erased like you did the eyes. I don't remember where that is, but I'm feeling okay with this now. The only thing I don't love actually is the... I think I want to try getting the yellow out of the lines here and just have them be more blue, or at least take some of it out. Yeah, that feels more ghosty. Okay, I like that. I mentioned I was considering adding some black to the background to add some separation. So I'm gonna try that. I also need to put the spit bubbles back in, and we're gonna distress it a little bit more. You know what we need to do? I'm gonna make a new layer. Duplicate this. That combines the ghosts with the line work. That way I can make a selection that excludes them. What are you? There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna do this on a new layer as a test because I'm not sure if I really want to do it. I'm gonna grab black, and I'm just gonna use a different texture. So it's different than the Rezo textures. Too pretty, but let's see. I kind of like that, but it's a little too much. That's kind of cool, I think. I think we turned off our black line work. Nope. Which one? This one? Did we? No, it's just not that dark. Okay. Maybe we can add some more to that, actually. Let's load that. And then I'm going to do it on another layer with it might be subtle on the screen end, but I think it's going to help the cause. Okay, so I'm going to merge those all down. And now let's just get the spit going. So let's just load that as a selection and just start erasing it out of everything. Ooh, I already kind of like that on its own. Let's erase that. Instead of getting rid of it altogether, what I'm going to do is just do a lighter version of it. So I will come over to the Rezo brushes, number 2. Let's grab a 40%. Make sure we get the red. That's cool. I like that you can see through it a little bit. It's kind of fun. And then might do just a few little extra details before I distress it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just organize my file for a second because it's a little chaotic. So I'm just grouping the stuff that I don't need anymore. down here. And now we can kind of see exactly what's happening. So we've just got, everything is just made from these 4 layers. We've got, let's just check our work here. So we got this black layer, and then we got this blue layer. I like seeing them individually like this, it's kind of fun. And then red, and then the yellow. Pretty neat. Okay, so what I want to do is add a little bit of shadow like on the tongue and some of these spots. So on the blue layer, I'm going to grab the blue and I'm going to use a shader brush, one of the Riso shaders, make it a little bit smaller, and then just come in here and just add in a little bit extra there. Maybe some over here under the chin a little bit. Not too much, I'm not trying to like render it or anything. I just want a little bit of extra separation. And then a little bit on the edges, under the cheeks. Like in the hands to separate the fingers a little bit. And then on the yellow layer, I'm going to do the same, but just to make the shirt look a little gross. Oh yeah. Okay. Now let's add a little distressing. So I like to do this individually. So I'll start with a red layer. And what I'll do is maybe come down to the Riso Messer Upper brushes. I like to use these as erasers sometimes, so I'll just like tap the modifier and then just kind of break up some of this coverage a little bit. Could try, what's this one? That's kind of fun. Got a roller mark, why not? And then I'll put some like in the area where there's not coverage. Like fingerprint, put a fingerprint in there. Bonk, bonk, bonk. And then I also like to use my like other regular textures and not just the Riso ones. Like you come in here and just sort of mess up that edge a little bit. Okay, and then I will move on to another color. So we can use this color distress one. That's just a nice, solid, good effect. Then we could also use it like, that's too much, but maybe make it smaller. Like that. Okay, that's fine. And then on the black layer, illustrating, you said sometimes you like the individual color layers more than the finished piece. I get that. Britt my said, glad you like these AD bangers track. So I took all the music, like I have all the music that I download from Epidemic Sound for videos, and there was like, you know, specific things that I did. Like I think I did a video where I was like animating the Back to the Future car, the DeLorean, and I had some like 80s music in there. So it's just like all in here. Okay, the Big Sad is a great texture brush. I like to use it as an eraser, make it bigger. This is just like a big distressing brush. Then maybe Oh, that's too much, but let me put some. We'll just, why not? Bonk. Okay. Now we turn everything back on, and we've got this stuff happening. And what I like to do is like take a lighter, like the yellow maybe, and then just shift it a little bit. Mess up the registration a skosh. Then you get some fun stuff happening like that. Sometimes I'll try it with like the other colors too, but when you use red and blue, sometimes it can get a little bit like 3D, but we'll try. Actually, I think that's kind of good. I like where you get the red overlaying there. And then I think what I want to do is just make it look like it's a print on like a page with like a border to it, but I don't want like a super clean border. So what I'm going to do is, let's just hide this for a second. I'm just going to fill this in white. What I'm going to do is make a new layer, fill this in black, and I'm going to double tap the modifier and scale this in from the edges consistently like that. And now I just want to kind of mess up the edges a bit, so I'm going to grab maybe this grid control and then use this as an eraser to just kind of give it like a screen printy edge, like literal edge. Just trying to make it like consistent. There's a few spots that I need to fix because it looks a little repetitive, and to do that I'll just like make the brush smaller in those spots, and then, you know, maybe come in with it as not an eraser and just sort of add more so it's a little bit less consistent. And to save time, what I might do is duplicate this and then flip it and rotate it, maybe like that. And then on this one, wait, which one? Where did it go? Did I flip them both? Oh, I'm transforming the wrong one like a dum-dum. Okay, so I want to shorten that side, and then on this side, I want to shorten this side. And then we can merge these together and then just like fix this corner. And now they're not going to look the same because we flipped and reflected and then used it like at the bottom. And okay, let's grab a different Turtley. I don't know what this one, I don't remember. Let's just quickly do this side. A little bit bigger. I'm just trying to do this quickly so it's not too boring to watch. I think I'll distress it a little bit with this and then come in with something bigger to just get some actual breakage on the side so it doesn't have that sharp edge. Okay, I'll go back to grid control. That was a good one. And then just erase some of these hard edges. It's gonna be worth it. Okay. I'm just gonna scale that over a wee bit. And now I can merge that with the white layer, and I can turn this to screen. And now we've got that cool edge. And then I got this paper texture that I put in here. Turn that on and then set that to multiply. And that's a little too saturated, so what I'm gonna do is bring down the saturation, but it's gonna do the whole thing, but I don't want it to do that. I just want the paper, so I'm just gonna clip it to the paper layer. And now I can get that grit without affecting the color too much. And that's the SpongeBob Spooky Pants. What do you think? Daryl, you said, what if you lean the black into dark purple a bit? We could try. An easy way to do that would be to just put a layer on top of the black and come over here and grab a dark purple. We can fill that in, and then we can clip it to the black layer. It is kind of cool. It's subtle, but I like it. That was a good call, Daryl. I think that was a good choice. Thank you for hanging out while I made this SpongeBob Spooky Pants. I hope you had fun. I know I had fun. I'm gonna try to do more live streams for these prompts as the month carries on, so if you're into that, let me know. Thank you all. I'll be posting these daily on Instagram, so make sure you are following me there if you're not already. Don't forget to smash the thumbs. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to be doing bonus live streams this month for Stinktober, so make sure you got the bell turned on. Is that what they call it? The bell? And don't forget to use the promo code LIVE in my shop to get 20% off. You could pre-order the new shirt, you could get the vector texture pack, you could get my all kinds of stuff in there. Stickers, books, prints, my new Rizzo print. There's a handful of my screen prints left. Not too many, but there are some, I think. Alright, it's been fun. You're all the best. Thank you so much. Live stream again on Friday. I always do live streams on Fridays, so come hang out. Alright, see you later. Bye.